We need someone with judgment and the temperament to keep this country safe. I don't know anyone who would be comfortable with someone who behaves this way having his finger on the button. I mean, we're liable to wake up one morning and Donald, if he were president, would have nuked Denmark.
All right, guys, another day, another disaster as our dementia-ridden, dipshit despot, Donald Trump, has decided to threaten World War III over not getting the Nobel Peace Prize. I wish I were kidding. I'm not. He wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of Norway complaining about how he didn't get the Nobel Prize and how he thinks that the United States deserves Greenland based on the idea of, like, preserving world peace or some shit like that. So, I'm going to get into how delusional this take is, but before we do, make sure you do me a huge solid, like the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and make sure you click the bell as well. That way YouTube will notify you whenever I upload another one. Unfortunately, the algorithm doesn't seem to really like political content, especially lefty political content, because what we say is subversive, and I guess it's not really friendly to advertisers. So do me a huge favor, do those couple of things that takes you less than a couple of seconds, and let's get into this letter. All right, so he wrote, "Dear Jonas, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America. Denmark cannot protect that land from Russia or China, and why do they have a right of ownership anyway? There are no written documents, it's only that a boat landed there hundreds of years ago, but we had boats landing there also. I have done more for NATO than any other person since its founding, and now NATO should do something for the United States. The world is not secure unless we have complete and total control of Greenland. Thank you, President DJT." Where to start? This is completely ridiculous. Like, the idea that he stopped 8 wars is preposterous. Which wars did Trump stop? Like, he claimed that he stopped a war between India and Pakistan, and both countries were like, no, Trump had nothing to do with that. And he's not stopping wars, he's literally starting wars everywhere. We just bombed Venezuela. We were bombing fishing boats off the coast before he invaded the capital city of Caracas, bombed innocent people there, and then abducted Nicolas Maduro, their leader, and brought him back to the United States. How does that equal being a candidate for the Nobel Prize? We bombed a country that literally did not attack us. And let's just take for a steelman argument, the idea that these were actually drug boats and not just innocent people, fishing or boating or doing whatever. The punishment for carrying drugs in a boat is not immediate execution by the U.S. military. So, he's bombed Venezuela, he's also bombed Iran, he's bombed Syria, he's bombed Somalia, he's bombed Yemen, he's giving weapons and billions of dollars to Israel to continue the genocide in Gaza and in the West Bank, to steal land from Palestinians. Like, Trump is the biggest fucking warmonger on the planet right now. So the idea that he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize is laughable, but I know why he wants it so bad. And the reason is because Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize. And that fucking grinds his gears worse than anything, because we all know that Trump's main motivation for being in politics in the first place is the fact that he got made fun of by Barack Obama, and also, he's just trying to dismantle everything that Obama ever did, like getting rid of the Paris Climate Agreement, getting rid of the Iran nuclear deal, which was like legit one of the better things that Barack Obama did. It makes the region less safe because it allows Iran now to not be monitored by the IAEA. Getting rid of the ACA and cutting healthcare, all of the principal things that Barack Obama was known for, Trump wants to destroy those. So I think that's the main motivation for Trump wanting to get the Peace Prize. And can we just stop and like talk about the fact that a fucking 80-year-old man is in charge of the most powerful military and the largest economy on earth, and he's busy writing letters about his fucking petty grievance to Norway about how he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize. How fucking pathetic. And also, like, even more pathetic is that, like, the woman who did, Machado, gifted him the Nobel Peace Prize because he's such a fucking whiny piece of shit. So he got gifted the Nobel Peace Prize, and he's still complaining about it. He's still complaining about it. Unreal. Now, the idea that Greenland can't defend itself, or that Denmark can't defend Greenland, is also stupid because Denmark is a part of NATO. The United States is a part of NATO. If China or Russia or some other country were to try and invade Greenland and steal Greenland, NATO would step in and defend it. So the whole premise is fucking stupid. We all know the real reason why. Like, he's talking about wanting to set up nuclear silos in Greenland, but the real reason from an economic standpoint is Trump wants to have a foothold in the Arctic, and he wants to have access to Greenland's minerals. But I have a different take on this, because he's saying that, you know, like, what if Russia were to take it? What if China were to take it? Do you know who would love more than anything if Trump took Greenland? Probably Vladimir Putin. Probably Xi Jinping. Because that would give a permission structure to Putin to continue taking Ukraine and probably a bunch of other countries in Eastern Europe. That would give a permission structure to Xi Jinping to take Taiwan and other countries in Southeast Asia. It's this whole Monroe Doctrine, this idea of, like, regional hegemony. And can we just talk about the fact that literally nobody voted for this? Trump didn't even run on this. None of his supporters were like, yeah, we should take Greenland. And I even have this poll from Fox News that discusses whether or not the United States should take Greenland by military force. And I kid you not, it only has 14% approval. 14%. 86% oppose. So this is the dumbest policy, the dumbest idea that Trump has had. But it's not going to stop him because he literally doubled down on this idea at Davos, which is the World Economic Forum, where a bunch of, like, global leaders and asshole billionaire pricks gather and suck themselves off about how great they're doing at running the world. But he keeps talking about this idea of taking Greenland for the security of Greenland, for the security of the rest of the world. Like I said, this is something that nobody actually wants, besides probably people like Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. And again, the reason why would be it gives a permission structure to somebody like Putin to continue doing what he's doing in Ukraine and a bunch of other countries in Europe. And Trump is now threatening countries with tariffs for not giving him Greenland. We have to do the 25th Amendment. We have to get him out of there. We're so far beyond the talks of impeachment. Trump should have been impeached like at least 100 times by now. Whether you're talking about all the corruption where he's, like, enriching himself by running businesses while he's president of the United States, whether we're talking about, like, the illegal invasion and bombing of Venezuela, a country that never attacked us, without congressional approval, against international law, whether we're talking about him invading American cities with the U.S. military and with ICE, like, we've got to get him the fuck out of there. This is a not well, very, very insecure, malignant narcissist. I guess this is just one more thing we can add to the list of Trump being completely fucking unhinged and insane. He's literally talking about starting World War III. He wants to blow up NATO over the fact that Denmark doesn't want to give Greenland to the United States. And I'm shocked that Ted Cruz was actually right about this back when he said that back in, like, 2016. He's ruining our relationships with every country that we have trade partnerships with, every country that we have military allyship with. This is so unhinged, and the only purpose this serves is to appease Trump and the neocons that run his administration. I don't think that this idea occurred out of nowhere, where, like, some random synapse decided to fire in Trump's brain and he farts out this idea that, like, oh, maybe we should take Greenland. No, I think that this is someone like Stephen Miller, had this idea that we're going to take Greenland. Or also, like, you know, there've been reporting about how, like, Peter Thiel wants to use Greenland as an experiment to run one of his little, like, corporate fiefdoms where he can control everything. And let's not forget, Trump can't even run the United States of America. Trump is not even doing a good job running the United States. What makes him think that he can run Venezuela or Greenland or any of these other countries that he's talking about taking by force? Like, this is totally and utterly fucking insane. 25th Amendment, get him the fuck out of there. Grandpa is not well. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you made it this far and you haven't yet, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.